Um, there's been a question, or a question was posed to me. If you like a girl or a young woman, what do you do about it? As a male, as a young man, as a more mature, seasoned gentleman, how do you go about expressing your affinity or your interest towards or to that young woman? And I don't have a direct or a concrete answer because I still don't know these things and I'm still figuring them out. And the best thing that you can do is understand that no women are no one woman are alike. All people are different. All women have their own idiosyncrasies, have their own perspectives, are just, they have their own personality traits. So what works for one girl would not work on another girl. And what one woman finds cute, attractive, becoming, the next woman could detest this and she could disapprove. So, I mean, I have plenty of stories about this for my personal, my personal situations and failures, mostly failures. 99% of them have been failures, but I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about, the whole interaction process with the actual or with the opposite sex. And we have to be aware of sexual politics. Politics means anytime that you're engaging with another person, you're engaging in politics. You walk past a person and you say, hey, and that person says, what's up? That was political, okay? You're at the grocery store, you are driving and you're in traffic. Any time that you are involving another person with your life, this is politics, right? So sexual politics just means the same thing that I mentioned before, but just with the opposite sex. So now you bring sex involved because the way men and women interface are completely different than the way men and men engage in the way women and women interface. So there is a level of ambiguity when it comes to sexual politics that isn't spoken about in the media and at home. And that's for a reason. A lot of that is from conventional viewpoints, traditional viewpoints. Some may call it patriarchy, some may call it oppressive, some may just call it ignorance. But to answer the question, what do you do if you like a woman, you're keen, that's a good way to express it. You're relatively keen on this young woman and you want to like let her know that. Well, for one, you could tell her. But from what I have gleaned from my personal experience, women don't like somebody who's too direct. That's not what women like. There are some who do. There are some who say, hey, I like this guy because he just said what was on his mind. He was direct with me. He didn't beat around the bush. He didn't tap dance around the situation. He didn't bullshit me. He came at me direct. Eyes focused on me. He made eye contact. He didn't invade my space, but he did approach me in a direct manner, and he was basically toe to toe with me and let me know his let me know what his agenda was. Some guys will say, hey, I want you, I would like to date you, I would like to take you out for dinner, for coffee, would you like to have a hot beverage, tea, something like this. And there are going to be some women who are, who would reward that behavior, I would say. Reward in the fact that say, yeah, I'll give you my number. Sure, I'll go on a date with you. But then there are women who don't like that. And I think there's a lot of women who like a guy who's direct or like the guy who initiates, but they want you to be a bit indirect about it, because some women are shy. Some women like the fact that they are receiving attention from the opposite sex, but they don't like it to be too noticeable. They don't like it to be too pronounced in public, because it brings a lot of attention to them. And that's one thing a lot of women don't like. A lot of women don't want unwanted attention. So there are some girls who would put their arms in the air and just scream for the heavens for a guy to express their love to them in a public forum and in front of people and in the crowded, pavilion. But a lot of girls don't want that type of attention. They don't want everybody seeing, what's going on with them. So I feel like if you are going to tell a woman that you like them, you kind of have to go about it in maybe a roundabout way that she can tell. Well, 9 times out of 10, honestly, 10 times out of 10, women are able to discern whether a guy likes them before he even opens his mouth. The fact that you've even approached her is one clear indicator, because you might say, hey, do you know the time? Or, hey, I'm kind of lost. Could you help me do this? You're asking for a favor, but really you could have asked anybody for this favor. You chose to talk to her. So these key indicators. Or you're a person like me who may start talking about things that are completely random. You're talking to her about, did she see the Dallas Cowboys last night? And she doesn't give a fuck about American football. Like that's not her thing. You just want to talk to her, and she likes that. She might not like the fact that you talk about the Cowboys. She might think they suck, but she likes the fact that, okay, this guy is trying to be funny. He's talking to me, but I can tell that he likes me. 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, women are aware when a guy's eyes are on them, even with her back turned, even when she's looking right and you're on the left side, even whenever she's on the left side and you're on the other end of the room. 10 times out of 10, she is aware when a guy is looking at her. I don't know how they have this. Well, I guess we kind of do know. They access or make use of peripheral vision more so than the guys do. They look from windows, mirrors. They might be looking from the screen on their phone and the reflection, like crazy things that guys don't think about, but women are aware when men are buzzing around, right? It's just a fact. But a lot of guys look at girls, like a shit ton of guys, a heap of guys always gawk and stare and are in awe of beautiful women, and all women are beautiful. But there are some women who get approached more often than others, or more often than not, right? So if you want to separate yourself from those guys or from the herd, then one, you have to put yourself in the game. Putting yourself in the game is by speaking up to her and not catcalling her, not making any mention of her, I would say, physical attributes or her aesthetics initially. She is aware that you like her physical aesthetics by the simple fact that you've been looking at her and you approached her, and you might be a little nervous and you might be talking really fast, or you might be looking down. Like, she can tell, okay, you like my look. But don't say anything about that right now. She may appreciate the fact that you're making conversation with her, but you should know or be aware of, making it about her. Yeah, you stop to ask her for directions, or you're in the grocery store and you want to know where the Nutella is, and you don't even eat Nutella, but you just want to talk to her. But as soon as she starts talking and she, gives you her answer, you should be aware that you're there because you want to know about her and you're interested in her. So ask her questions. I can't tell you what those questions are, but questions that pertain to her, questions that will intrigue her, questions that she will find that, hey, this guy is trying to get to know me. Now, I wouldn't go too deep with the questions. I wouldn't ask her what her sexual proclivities are when the first time you meet her in the middle of the, Wegmans or the Safeway or something like that. That might be a bit aggressive, but ask her about, her interests and what she does, and, is she in school, or what are her creative passions or her outlets and things of this nature. Something, does she have close relationship with, family members, or, what do her and her friends like to do, or what do you like to do for fun? Like things that can get her talking, open-ended questions. And I think a lot of girls, women too, would prefer that, instead of you, well, one, just staring at her and not saying anything, or two, walking up to her and mentioning the fact that you like her lower half of her body, or you like the upper half of her body, or you think she resembles some TV personality or something like that. She might find this flattering, she might find it off-putting, but yeah, I would stay away from mentioning a woman's aesthetics when you first meet her.